I went up to the attic to do some cleaning, getting ready for the upcoming move. The air was thick with the smell of damp and mold. While I was sorting through old stuff, I bumped into an old box tucked deep in the corner. I opened it and instantly recognized the toys from my childhood, including Winnie the Pooh. For a second, I was a kid again, truly believing the 100-acre wood was real. Pooh, the teddy I once carried everywhere, had been my best friend. But now, his once bright golden fur had turned dull and grey. One eye was hanging loose, and his left arm was crusted with something thick and sticky, like honey. I put him down right away. I mean, come on, I'm an adult now. Things like Pooh were just old junk now. That night, I was getting ready to sleep when I heard a soft rustling outside my window. I glanced over, but there was nothing. I switched off the lights and laid down, trying to shake the weird nostalgia from earlier. Then, a soft knock on my door. I got up and opened it. The hallway was completely empty, except for one thing. Pooh. He sat neatly on the floor, looking as if someone had just placed him there. Next to Pooh was a piece of paper covered in sticky honey. I froze for a few seconds, confused. Someone was clearly messing with me. It had to be a joke. I took Pooh back up to the attic and tossed him into the box. But when I returned to my room, he was already there, sitting right in the middle of my bed. No one else was in the house. I had locked the attic. I was sure of it. There was no way he could have gotten out, unless something else had brought him back. Panic setting in, I stuffed him into a new box, sealed every inch with thick tape. I even put it in the cabinet and locked it. With that done, I went back to bed, hoping for a peaceful night. But instead, a nightmare came crashing in. In my dream, I was standing in the 100-acre wood, but everything was wrong. The trees were dead, the ground cracked, and the air was thick with the stench of rot and something metallic like blood. Then I saw Pooh, standing just a few feet away, staring straight at me. That weird, crooked smile stretched across his face. It looked sad, but twisted. He just slowly opened a honey jar and began pouring it around my feet. But it wasn't golden honey anymore. It was thick, dark, and something was moving inside it. I jolted awake, drenched in cold sweat. My hands were covered in that same rotten honey. I sat up in horror and saw the walls of my room covered in deep, ragged claw marks. The walls were gouged with jagged claw marks smeared with blood and honey. Somehow Pooh had escaped the box. At that point, I wasn't thinking clearly anymore. I just grabbed Pooh, ran straight out to the backyard. I poured gasoline over him, lit a match, and threw it without thinking twice. Flames shot up fast, wrapping around him like they'd been waiting. The fire swallowed him. His fur curled up and blackened, the smell of burning fabric thick in the air. I didn't move until the fire died, and there was nothing left but ashes. I went back inside, completely worn out, thinking I could finally get some sleep. But the second I lay down, that same burnt smell hit me, right under my nose. Then something heavy pressed down on my chest, pinning me in place. I opened my eyes. Pooh was sitting on top of me, his face grotesque, contorted, almost inhuman.
You left me, but it's okay. Now we can play together, forever.
I screamed and tried to move, but my body wouldn't respond. It was like I was trapped in place, completely frozen. Then everything faded into black. When I woke up, I was back in the 100-acre wood. Only this time, it wasn't a dream. The air stank of rotting honey, thick enough to choke on. The trees stood like twisted skeletons, their branches weighed down by dozens of tiny shoes, each soaked in honey and dark, dried blood. A whistle echoed suddenly. Pooh appeared, walking slowly. He was bigger now, his head swollen, his belly swaying like it held dozens of things inside.
You'll never leave me again, will you, Christopher?
He dragged me to a twisted tea table lined with teacups filled with thick, tar-like honey.
When you join a tea party, you have to play by my rule.
Then he smiled, handed me a cup, and without thinking, I knocked it to the ground, horrified by whatever was inside. Pooh let out a low, deranged laugh, then slowly pulled out a tiny, faded shoe. And the moment I saw it, I knew it was mine. My childhood shoe, with Christopher Robin stitched along the side.
I waited for you in endless darkness. But where were you, Christopher?
Then, without another word, he poured an entire jar of honey over me. The pain burned through me as my skin began to melt piece by piece. My mind started to fade. And just before my mind went completely dark, I heard his voice, low and loving.
Welcome to the 100-acre wood, my best friend. Forever and forever! Ha 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 ha!
I used to sell seafood in the morning market, fresh octopus, oysters, shrimp, abalone. My hands were always slick with brine, my nails cracked from prying open shells. Business used to be steady, but that changed when the vendor next to me started slashing prices, dirt cheap, desperate deals to lure in anyone. Soon, no one came to my stall anymore. By the end of each day, the ice would melt into bloody water, and the seafood sat there, unwanted, dying slow. Rent was due. My pantry was nearly empty. Even my old rice cooker gave up on me. One evening, as I sat on an overturned crate scrolling through my cracked phone, I stumbled across an online contest. A mukbang challenge, raw seafood only. Whoever got the most views would win a cash prize. I stared at my unsold octopus, still twitching slightly. The rules said live seafood brought the best engagement. The viewers were drawn to the drama, the visceral thrill, the rawness of it all, the grotesque spectacle that unfolded on their screens. And while it all felt absurd and ridiculous to me, I knew deep down that I had nothing left to lose. That night, I set up a small ring light I bought years ago. I sat in my cramped kitchen with a tray of writhing tentacles and hit record. The first bite was the hardest. The suction cups clung to my tongue, slapping against my lips like they were alive. They were. I chewed quickly, swallowing down my revulsion. My throat itched, my lips tingled. Still, I finished the tray, edited the footage, and uploaded it. By morning, the video had exploded. 1 million views, then 2, then 5. My inbox flooded with comments. King of Octopus! Look at the size of those tentacles. What a legend. I checked the prize page. I had won. But more than that, the algorithm kept feeding my video to hungry eyes. And hungry eyes paid. Viewers begged for more. Try abalone next. Eat 5 oysters at once. Do a challenge, an hour of raw octopus. So I listened. Every night, whatever didn't sell, I ate. Squirming shrimp, slippery mussels, thick slices of raw tuna that bled onto my chin. The worse it looked, the more they loved it. Money rolled in. At first, I used it to fix the rice cooker, restock my kitchen. Then, I stopped selling seafood altogether. Why sell it for pennies when I could eat it for thousands? But something started to change. After each video, I felt wrong. My stomach clenched in waves. My skin broke out in hives, crawling with heat. At first, I blamed it on freshness. I told myself the seafood had just sat too long. I bought antihistamines and carried on. But one morning, I noticed something on my arm. A tiny lump just below the skin, soft and round, like a bubble. Over the week, more appeared, on my wrist between my fingers. They pulsed sometimes, subtly, disturbingly, almost as if they were alive. I ignored it. I had followers to feed, but it got worse. After each meal, the heat rushed to my face. My lips swelled unbearably, and the itching crept beneath my skin like something alive, constant and cruel. Still, the views were too good. I couldn't stop. My latest challenge was 3 kilograms of raw tiger shrimp. I managed maybe half before I had to stop and throw up. I scrubbed my face, cut out the scene, and uploaded anyway. This time, the response was lukewarm. Then the comments came. Cut video? Fake mukbang? He's not even chewing anymore. If you're real, do it live. Let's see it happen raw and unedited. One comment hit harder than the rest. Go live at the market. Eat there. If you do it for real, I'll donate double. My stomach churned, not out of fear, but from a deeper hunger. A hunger that wasn't mine. Something darker. Something growing inside me. Still, I agreed. The next morning, I returned to the market, not as a seller, but as a performer. I set up a folding table piled high with seafood. I returned to the very stall where I once bled my hands, cracking shells and chasing sales. Now, it hosted my return as something else entirely. A crowd gathered fast, phones up, streaming live. I smiled at the camera, lifted a massive octopus, and bit in. I forced myself to chew, swallowing the writhing mass with an effort that turned my stomach. And as I reached for another bite, the sound of applause erupted around me, eager and unrelenting. I reached for another tentacle, but the moment I bit down, my throat refused it. I gagged, then dropped to my knees. My vision blurred, and my chest heaved with a rising, uncontrollable panic. Then I felt them, dozens of them bursting under my skin. The lumps on my arms rippled. Something writhed inside them. I screamed. The skin peeled off in strips. Beneath, rows of suckers glistened like birthmarks, twitching as if tasting the air. My fingers twitched involuntarily, curling into themselves as spasms shot through them like electric pulses, each one sharper and more foreign than the last. The tips of my fingers split open, and from within, something dark and glistening began to slither out. The crowd gasped, then scattered in shrieking chaos. My stomach swelled, round and tight like a drum. Inside, something began to move. It kicked, it spun, it twisted restlessly. Then came the tearing. My shirt split open. Then something burst through the taut skin of my abdomen, wet and glistening, slick with a purplish sheen. It revealed tentacles, longer and stronger than anything I had ever seen or dared to swallow. I passed out to the sound of ambulance sirens. The smell of brine and bile thick in my nose. They took me to the hospital, or so I was told. I can't eat anymore. Not because I'm sick, because they are. And they are always hungry.
Patient Kim is suffering from severe poisoning. According to the test results, the toxin originated from the luminous octopuses. It's possible they were contaminated by some form of mutation.
We'll investigate the source of the toxin. Tinky Winky! Dipsy!
La la. Oh.
At 78, I was hailed as a humanitarian icon. Tamzin, former orphanage director, who dedicated her life to disabled and abandoned children. That's what the articles said. The interviews, the awards. They called me the mother of the lost, the savior of the forgotten. But if I had a choice, I'd rather they called me Funny Madame. I smiled in all the photographs, practiced humility, spoke of sacrifice. And recently, in celebration of my lifelong service, they gifted me something I didn't even ask for. A lifetime stay at a luxury retirement estate. Private suite, personal caregiver, round-the-clock comfort. All I had to do, they said, was close my eyes.
Just sleep and you'll wake up there.
So I did. And when I woke, the sky had turned grey. The room was tasteful, quiet. No ticking clocks, no footsteps, just stillness. It should have felt peaceful. But peace doesn't hop in the dark. The first night I heard it. Thump. Clack, 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 clack. Footsteps in rhythm, like someone was dancing. Then the TV flickered on. Static. Then colours. Then that god-awful jingle. Tinky Winky. Dipsy. La La. Po. My stomach turned. Something old, rotten, long buried inside me cracked open. With a trembling hand, I grabbed the remote and hit power. The screen went black, but 5 seconds later, back on. I pulled the plug from the wall, still on, still singing. And then my knees cracked, but no nurse in sight. I dragged myself out, looking for them. I thought this package was convenient, but it's completely useless. The hallway was pitch dark, with only the flickering white light outside the window. The wind howled, bitter and sharp as a knife. The clack-clack sound and the TV continued to disturb me. Then, knock-knock, knock-knock. Soft, deliberate, at my door. I opened it. No one. I leaned forward, and something slammed into me. Hard. I crashed face first into snow. The cold stole the scream right out of me. "You little bastard!" I shouted, struggling to sit up. "You think this is funny? You'll be punished, do you hear me?" Only the wind answered, shrieking and gnawing at my skin. I stumbled through the snow, barefoot, tried the windows. All sealed shut. My feet cracked open. Skin tore on the ice. Each step felt like walking on needles dipped in acid. Then, darkness. I woke beneath thick blankets, swaddled like a corpse. A young man stirred porridge beside me.
You shouldn't go out like that.
He said softly.
There are people here who really hate you, even if you don't remember them.
The TV was still on. Still that song. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, Po. I groaned. Turn it off. I don't want to hear that nonsense. He didn't move.
Is that why you never let the four of us watch it?
He asked, not looking at me. I narrowed my eyes. You don't understand what it's like taking care of crippled little monsters. You can't afford softness, not when they scream all night and piss themselves. He finally turned to face me, and I froze. His face burned, melted like candle wax, red, raw, one eye white and blind. He smiled. he said. The name struck me like a hammer. No! You died! You died in the fire! That was decades ago.
I lived,
He whispered.
barely, in darkness. I watched them praise you, worship you.
I tried to crawl out from under the blanket, but I couldn't feel my legs. Maybe they'd gone numb from the earlier cold. Then my legs fell to the floor. I shrieked, screamed until my throat tore. Poe stepped closer, calm.
I helped you.
He said.
You don't have to walk anymore. Just rest. Let us care for you.
He lifted a spoonful of porridge. No, no, don't! He shoved it into my mouth. Boiling hot. I choked, gagged, tried to spit it out. Another spoon, and another.
You used to feed us with rusty spoons, remember? Made us swallow even when we cried. Even when our mouths bled.
I vomited. He sighed.
And now you're just wasting food.
He scooped the vomit back up, fed it to me again. I convulsed, body bucking against the blankets. No use.
You said we should be grateful. That we owed you. You think anyone else would feed freaks like you? That's what you said.
I wept, and I remembered. The attic, the beatings, the night I spilled gasoline, struck the match. 4 people locked in. No one survived. At least that's what I told the press. Electrical fire. I had sobbed in the interviews. Tragic accident. They believed me. Built my statue. Called me saint. Poe rose. Gasoline sloshed in the can he carried.
You wanted silence. Now you'll burn in it.
He poured it across the floor, the curtains, my bed, and my body. The stench of fuel rushed up my nose, sharp and dizzying. The TV blared louder. Tinky Winky? Dipsy? Lala? Poe? Poe struck a match.
You always said, this is how I take care of you.
He dropped the flame.
Now, let me take care of you the same way.
Fire crawls across the room like a memory. The smoke is thick with screams I once silenced. I crawl, but there's nowhere left to go. The flames kiss my skin, and I think maybe this is what they felt. Above it all, the TV howls. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, Poe. Again, and again, and again.
The ballroom is alight with golden chandeliers, casting soft, flickering light upon the swirling figures below. My breath catches as I see them. Belle, her gown a flowing sea of yellow, and him, the creature I once loved. They twirl together, their movements synchronized in a way that speaks of trust, of affection. My chest tightens. How dare he? How dare they? I've been watching them for weeks now, hiding in the shadows of my own making. It is agony to see him care for her the way he once cared for me, to see that beastly face softened by her gaze. I was his first love, the one who would have stood by him through storms and fire, but that was before his heart betrayed me. I was beautiful once, so beautiful that my presence alone could silence a room. He adored me, his raven-haired enchantress, the woman who dared to love a prince despite the whispers and accusations. They said I had bewitched him, that no man of his stature could truly love a witch without some vile potion involved. His family believed them. I don't understand why they despise witches so much. Is it a crime to be born a witch?
Break it off, or you will lose your crown, your kingdom, your name.
He obeyed.
It's for the best.
He told me, his voice trembling. But his eyes betrayed him. He was a coward, too weak to fight for me. My heart shattered as he walked away, leaving me to the cruel world that had never accepted me. In my grief, I cursed him. I turned his handsome face into the hideous snout of a beast, his strong hands into claws. His castle became a prison, shrouded in mist and shadow, a reflection of the emptiness he had left in me. And the rose. Oh, the rose. A symbol of true love. When its final petal fell, he would remain a beast forever, unless someone could love him as I had once loved him. But I didn't leave the curse without hope. I thought he would return to me, crawling back on those beastly knees, begging for my forgiveness, for my love, to save him. He didn't. For years he hid away in his room, never stepping outside. I wasn't wrong when I called him a coward. As for me, I watched his kingdom crumble under the weight of his curse. His parents died of grief. Their once vibrant kingdom turned to ash. The castle servants, those loyal fools, became nothing more than objects, cursed to suffer alongside their master. I thought it was justice. And then she arrived. Belle. Sweet, naive Belle with her bright eyes and kind heart. She walked into that cursed castle and somehow began to undo the walls I had built around him. He looked at her the way he used to look at me, and it stung more than any blade ever could. I tried to stop it. I sent nightmares to Belle, twisted dreams where he devoured her whole. I transformed the rose garden into a labyrinth of thorns that tore at her delicate skin. I conjured illusions in her mirror, visions of her dying father begging her to return. But nothing worked. She stayed. Desperation drove me to Gaston, the arrogant hunter obsessed with making Belle his wife. "She's been taken by the beast," I whispered into his ear. "Save her, and she will love you." He was all too eager to believe me, with an army of fools at his side. He stormed the castle. The battle was brutal. I stayed in the shadows, my heart racing as Gaston drove his blade into the beast's chest. He fell collapsing on the cold stone floor. Blood pooled around him as his breaths grew shallow. For a moment I felt triumphant. He would die as the monster I had made him, unloved and alone. But then, something broke within me. He had once been mine. My love. My prince. I couldn't let him die, not like this. I stepped forward and kissed him, hoping to break the curse and save his life. "Come back to me," I pleaded, my voice cracking. "I'll forgive you. I'll save you. We can still have what we lost." He opened his eyes, but they were distant, unfocused.
Belle,
He whispered. My heart froze. Belle appeared, snatching the beast from my arms. She cradled his head in her lap and kissed him, her love pure and unwavering. The final petal of the rose fell, but instead of sealing his fate, it unleashed a golden light. I watched in horror as his monstrous form melted away, revealing the prince I once knew. He was human again, beautiful, whole, and it wasn't because of me. Rage consumed me. I raised my staff, aiming to curse Belle as I had cursed him. If I couldn't have him, neither could she. But as the spell left my lips, she stepped aside, and the curse struck the glass that encasing the rose behind her. The glass shattered. Before I could react, the magic rebounded, wrapping around me like chains. My skin twisted, my reflection morphing into something grotesque. Horns sprouted from my head, my hands became claws, and my face became the face of a monster. They left me there, alone in the ruins of the castle. He didn't look back. She didn't even flinch. Now I sit in this decaying ballroom, watching the dust settle over the remnants of my life. I am the beast now, trapped in the prison of my own making. They have their happy ending, but I am left with nothing but the echoes of a love that once was. And the worst part? I still love him.
When I opened my eyes, I found myself at the long, chaotic banquet table. Teapots were scattered across the surface, surrounded by moldy pastries and piles of cracked porcelain cups, and saucers stacked in no order at all. All around me stood silent figures, unmoving. Each one wore a cracked porcelain mask, frozen in a wide. At the head of the table was a man with a tall, tilted hat perched precariously on his head. His eyes glowed unnaturally bright, and they were locked on me.
I'm the Mad Hatter. Welcome to my Mad Tea Party, Alice.
He gave an exaggerated bow, lifting his hat with a theatrical flourish. The hat was slick and pale, its surface stitched together with thick, glaring red seams. It looked almost alive, a grotesque patchwork of stolen skin. Then he offered me a cup of tea.
Go on, try it. A special blend made just for you, Alice.
Every instinct in my body screamed that something was wrong, but under his unwavering gaze, I hesitated, then lifted the cup to my lips and took a sip. The taste was sweet at first, but it turned metallic, sharp, and foul, coating my tongue with the tang of blood. My stomach turned. As I set the cup back down, the Mad Hatter's smile tightened. He raised an eyebrow and said in a voice that was still polite, but now laced with warning,
Refusing the host's tea? Wouldn't that be terribly rude?
Suddenly, everything around me began to spin. I gripped the teacup tightly, trying not to lose control. Then I looked up, frozen stiff with fear. The guests at the table had taken off their masks. What lay beneath weren't faces. Their skin was sewn together from mismatched patches, stitched in thick red threads like someone had tried to fix them. They looked like marionettes, abandoned and left to rot. Terror rushed through me. I pushed my chair back and ran, knocking over plates and spilling cold tea as I stumbled away. Behind me, I heard the Mad Hatter yelling, his voice sharp and angry.
You're leaving already, Alice? But the party's just begun.
I didn't dare look back. I just ran straight into the woods, where the trees closed in like walls. I didn't know how long I ran, but my legs grew weak, my lungs burned, and my head spun. Then I heard it. A slow, steady ticking. Before I could react, something crashed into me. I fell hard to the ground. When I looked up, I saw him, the White Rabbit, dressed in a neat little coat, clutching a pocket watch. And just before the darkness swallowed me, I heard him whisper,
No one leaves the tea party, Alice.
When I came to, I was back at the tea table. The same lace cloth, the same porcelain teacup, only now the tea inside had turned thick and black, like oil. The guests were gone. Dozens of hats were lined up on the table, as if they had taken their place. And every single one was made of skin. Some were dry and cracked, others were still fresh, soft, almost bleeding. I couldn't look away. Then I felt him right beside me, his breath warm against my cheek.
The tea party isn't over.
He held out a biscuit shaped like a finger. He laughed softly and opened the sugar jar. Inside, instead of sugar cubes, there were eyes, cloudy, glassy, some still glistening wet. I wanted to scream, but all that came out was a whisper. Where are the others?
They didn't make the cut, but you're different. Just look at your skin. So smooth it feels like silk. The perfect material for my final masterpiece.
He picked up the leather hat with care, treating it like a prize, blood dripping steadily from it as he swayed gently, humming a broken, eerie song. And that's when it started. An itch crawled across my cheek, then burned. I touched my face. My fingers came away bloody. A piece of my skin had peeled off. He noticed. His hand shot out, snatching it from mine with glee. He pressed it to the hat with trembling delight, cradling it like a gift. I screamed and ran. Behind me, his laughter rang out, sharp and lilting, like a song that wouldn't end. It chased me through the trees, a sound too gleeful to belong to anything human. Then I caught sight of that familiar rabbit, hiding at the base of the tree. Maybe it knew the way out. I staggered toward the place where it had taken cover. Its fur shook, and its wide, terrified eyes were fixed on the ticking clock in its paws.
No time left. No more time.
No more time for what? But before it could answer, he was there. The Mad Hatter snatched the rabbit up like a toy. It kicked once, then froze.
You had one job!
Then, without hesitation, he skinned it in a single fluid motion. The white fur, now streaked with red, was tossed over his shoulder like a shawl. He turned to me.
But it's all right. You're still here, my perfect guest. And tonight, you'll help me craft the most beautiful hat this world has ever seen.
None of it made sense. No, I had to wake up. I had to get out of this nightmare. It felt like it was finally over. Or maybe it had only just begun.
On all my hunting trips, I had never let any prey escape my grasp. If a noble prince like me desired something, it would surely become mine. As I was enjoying my victory, a loud noise suddenly caught my attention. An ugly frog was swimming in the pond. Its slimy body disgusted me. Since childhood, I've always hated frogs. Then, a mischievous idea crossed my mind. I tied the frog to a heavy rock and tossed it back in the water. Look at how it struggled helplessly made me laugh. But just as I was laughing, something horrifying happened. The frog exploded, splattering sticky slime all over me. Pain tore through my body like fire. My skin turned slimy. My hands disappeared, replaced by webbed toes. I tried to scream, but only a disgusting ribbit came out. I looked into the water and saw my most hated reflection. I had become an ugly, wart-covered frog. Then, an old voice spoke beside me.
This is your curse. You shall suffer for cruelly tormenting an innocent creature. To break it, you must receive a kiss from the one true princess.
I was fighting against my frog instincts. How could a noble prince like me endure such a thing? I belonged in a grand palace, dining on golden plates and sleeping in a warm bed. I couldn't stand these miserable days. Suddenly, I heard crying near the pond. Wasn't that a beautiful princess? I hurried over. My fair princess, why do you weep so bitterly?
A talking frog? Well, I suppose that doesn't matter now. I'm crying because my beloved golden ball has fallen into the water.
I knew this was my chance. Do not cry, princess. I can retrieve your golden ball. But what will you give me in return?
Whatever you wish. I would give all my fine clothes and jewels and everything that I have in the world.
I seek no jewels nor fine robes. I shall return your golden ball, if you promise to let me stay in your palace, dine from your golden plate, rest in your soft bed, and grant me a good night kiss.
Very well, I promise. Just bring me back my golden ball.
I leaped into the water. In just a few moments I found the ball, but as soon as I hopped back onto the shore, the princess snatched the ball from me.
What nonsense you speak! A filthy frog like you could never belong by my side. Now go away.
She laughed mockingly and ran off. Furious, I chased after her. When I reached the magnificent palace, I saw the princess happily playing with her golden ball. I leaped in front of her. "You made me a promise, princess. You must keep your word."
Go away, you disgusting frog.
But I refused to give up. Each night I croaked at her window, disturbing her sleep.
You awful frog. You're so noisy and annoying. Fine. You may eat from a golden plate and sleep in a soft bed, but only for one day. Then back to your filthy pond.
And what about the kiss, princess? I swear, just one kiss, and I'll leave.
Very well.
At last, I dined from a golden plate and rested on a luxurious bed. I felt like a prince once more. Now, princess, give me a kiss. Without warning, she tied me to the golden ball.
Did you really think I'd kiss an ugly frog? Keep dreaming. You're nothing but my plaything now.
The princess showed no mercy. Dart after dart whizzed past me as I leaped in terror. My body grew heavier. I struggled helplessly, just like the frog I'd once tormented in the pond. Was this my punishment? Then a searing pain coursed through my body. My warty skin burst open, spewing foul slime. The princess was laughing with delight when, all of a sudden, thick, slimy liquid splattered onto her. The princess screamed in terror. She collapsed to the ground, her body trembling violently. The princess had transformed into a grotesque frog. Heavy footsteps thundered down the hall. Then the guards burst into the chamber. The frog princess panicked and leapt through the window into the night. As for me, I lay gasping on the floor, too weak to move. There was nothing left but to accept my grim fate. The curse had claimed us both.
This is your curse. To break it, you must receive a kiss from the one true prince.
I've always been a meat lover, especially pork. Bacon in the morning, grilled ribs for lunch, a steaming bowl of pork belly stew for dinner. I couldn't get enough. Pork was my life, my comfort, my joy. If anyone asked, I'd joke, if pigs could talk, they'd probably hate me. But I never really thought about it. Not until that day. It started like any other. I headed out to buy fresh pork for dinner. I was walking to the local butcher, already tasting the crispy pork belly I planned to cook. The air was oddly still, no cars, no chatter, just an eerie silence that clung to the streets. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, but I shrugged it off. Maybe it was just a slow day. As I rounded the corner, something heavy smashed into the back of my head. Pain exploded behind my eyes, and the world faded to black. When I woke up, I was in a cage. Iron bars surrounded me, cold and unyielding. Around me, other people were trapped in similar cages, their faces pale and terror-stricken. Some were crying, others murmuring prayers. My head throbbed, and I struggled to piece together what had happened. "What's going on?" I whispered. But no one answered. Then I heard it. Heavy footsteps, slow and deliberate. My heart thudded in my chest as a shadow loomed outside the cage, and then it stepped into the light. It was Peppa Pig, or at least it looked like her, but not the cheerful cartoon character children adored. No, this was a monstrous version, a grotesque parody. Its pink skin was raw and glistening, like slabs of uncooked meat. Its mouth was lined with jagged, razor-sharp teeth.
Welcome.
It growled, voice guttural and chilling. It held a clipboard in one clawed hand, scanning the group like a predator choosing its prey.
Name?
It demanded from the first person. When they stammered out a reply, the creature consulted its clipboard.
You've consumed approximately 500 kilograms of pork in your lifetime,
it said, voice dripping with malice.
That's roughly 100 kilograms of flesh I'll need in return.
Before the man could respond, Peppa grabbed him and dragged him out of the cage. His screams echoed as he disappeared into the shadows. Peppa led him into a dimly lit room that looked like a slaughterhouse. The metallic stench of blood was overwhelming. Through the bars, I watched as she strapped him to a table. His screams echoed as her cleaver came down. Blood splattered across the walls, pooling beneath the table. I gagged, bile rising in my throat. The next person was taken, then the next. Each time, the creature read out the weight of pork they'd consumed as if it were a sentence, a tally of their sins. And each time, the screams grew louder, more desperate. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. My stomach churned with fear and nausea. Then I heard it again. The wet, sickening thud of a cleaver meeting flesh. Blood sprayed across the walls, dripping down like a grotesque waterfall. Hooks hung from the ceiling, swaying gently with chunks of human meat impaled on them. My turn was coming. I knew it. I began twisting and pulling at the ropes binding my wrists, ignoring the sharp pain as they dug into my skin. My fingers trembled, slick with sweat, but I refused to stop. My experience with tying and untying pork roasts had taught me how to handle knots, and I clung to that skill now like a lifeline. The creature stood before me, flipping through its clipboard. Finally, it stopped and grinned, revealing rows of jagged teeth.
Huh.
It hissed, its glowing red eyes narrowing.
A pork lover, aren't you? Let's see. 750 kilograms. Quite the appetite.
It turned back toward me, the cleaver gleaming in its hand. But the cage was empty. By the time it realized, I was already free, slipping into the shadows, the ropes I'd finally untied falling silently to the ground behind me.
Get back here!
It roared, its footsteps pounding behind me. The hallway was narrow and slick with blood, making every step treacherous. My breath came in ragged gasps as I ducked and weaved, desperate to escape. I spotted a large cabinet and dove underneath, curling into a ball and holding my breath. The creature stormed into the room, sniffing the air like a bloodhound. Its glowing eyes scanned the space, passing over the cabinet. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it wouldn't find me. Then she crouched.
Found you!
She snarled, her teeth gleaming. Before she could find me, chaos erupted outside. Shouts, crashing metal, the sounds of people fighting back. Peppa hesitated, her ears twitching at the noise.
Stupid pigs.
It muttered before stomping out to deal with the commotion. I didn't waste a second. Crawling out from under the cabinet, I bolted in the opposite direction. following the faint glow of daylight. My legs burned, and my lungs felt like they'd collapse. But I kept running. That night, I sat in my apartment trembling, unable to close my eyes without seeing its face, hearing the screams. The thought of pork, of bacon, of ribs, it made me sick. I didn't need to think twice. I'll never eat pork again. Right behind me is the park where a horrifying shooting happened 13 years ago. Welcome back to XXX. I'm the cameraman, Jack.
I'm Andy.
I'm your lovely Mia. Today, we're exploring this supposedly haunted park.
My sister Mia, her boyfriend Andy and I run a YouTube channel together. Our main content is exploring abandoned places rumoured to be haunted. I'm in charge of filming for the group. Mia is the host, and Andy handles video editing.
This park has been abandoned for a long time and is isolated from residential areas, so the structures here are still in pretty good shape.
The pitch-black, eerie silence made me uneasy. I stayed alert, recording everything with my camera. Cameras always capture things that the naked eye might miss. That shadow just now, was it Mickey?
Jack! Hey, stop filming! It's too dark here. Let's check the security room and see if we can turn on the lights.
All right, I followed behind Mia and Jack, checking the footage on my camera as I walked. But this time, there was nothing unusual. Good thing I didn't mention it to Mia and Andy. If those two daredevils knew, they'd definitely go looking for that Mickey just to make content. I chuckled to myself and kept filming along the way. We quickly found the security room, and luckily the door wasn't locked. I panned my camera around the room, capturing everything. There was a strange message on the wall. Just as I tried to get a closer look, a blinding light suddenly flashed.
Andy, you're amazing!
Turns out Andy had flipped the power switch.
Piece of cake.
Jack, keep filming! Our handsome Andy here just powered up the whole system. Now, this entire amusement park is ours. Andy, I want to ride the Ferris wheel.
Following Mia's excitement, I pointed my camera at the Ferris wheel, which had a cute Mickey Mouse face smiling down at us. But on my camera screen, the face was twisted and horrifying. Then, out of nowhere, something black and swarming burst out from the Ferris wheel cabins. Crows! They're coming this way! Mia, Andy, get down! The crows screeched wildly, their sharp beaks viciously pecking at anything bright. It seemed that the sudden lights had startled them. Suddenly, the crows let out terrified screeches and flew away from us. Andy! What did you just do?
Just a laser pointer. Shining it into their eyes scares them off.
At a time like this, I should be hearing Mia showering her boyfriend with praise, right? Wait, something's wrong. Mia's gone.
Help me!
That Mickey took her. Back then, the killer wore a Mickey mascot suit when committing his crimes. He was shot dead right here at the scene. So this Mickey, is it a person or the ghost of that demon? We chased after Mia but quickly lost track of her. Just as we reached the storage room, I heard her voice coming from inside. Andy and I teamed up, broke the lock, and burst into the room. It looked like that Mickey freak was trying to turn Mia into his own personal mini. But that wouldn't be easy, because the one he kidnapped was Mia, the maniac.
You guys sure took your time.
Where's that disgusting freak? I'll finish him off.
My whole body was covered in stuffing, so I couldn't see him clearly. But I beat the hell out of him and got out myself. Jack, get your camera ready. We're gonna hunt him down.
My sister was as fierce as ever. From the way she spoke, it didn't seem like that thing was too dangerous. right? But if we could physically fight it... Mickey, it's here!
You bastard! How dare you take my girlfriend?
Andy swung his weapon, landing a direct hit on Mickey's head. For a split second, it froze. But then, it started fighting back.
Damn it! Let me go!
Suddenly, the mascot's head snapped over Andy's, sealing tight. Mia and I rushed to help, but it was too late.
Andy!
Andy was brutally killed by that cursed mascot, looking into its bloodthirsty, deranged eyes. I was certain the thing wearing that suit was the ghost of the mass murderer from 13 years ago.
You bastard! I'll kill you!
Mia, calm down!
Let me go! I have to avenge Andy!
Mia, listen to me! You only escaped earlier because it didn't want to kill you. But now it wants our blood. My mind raced, searching for the best way to escape. Then, I spotted a pile of old fireworks. Mia, there are fireworks here. We can use them to make that Mickey... The rest of my words got stuck in my throat, choked by the warm rush of blood.
No! I'll kill you!
I have always loved creatures others feared, snakes especially, misunderstood, much like myself. People see them as symbols of death, as lurking evils waiting to strike. But I knew better. A snake only bites when threatened, only kills when forced. Treat them with kindness, and they will be gentle in return. Yet humans do not understand such things. They fear what they do not know. They whispered behind my back, called me wicked for keeping serpents as companions. They envied my beauty, my wisdom, my devotion to Athena. Their jealousy was like poison, spreading through their words, their gazes. But I paid them no mind. My heart belonged to the goddess of wisdom, and I lived only to serve her. Then, he came, Poseidon, a god as vast and unknowable as the ocean itself. His voice was the crashing tide, his eyes the abyss. We met by chance on the shore. He weaved promises of protection, of love, of a world where I would never be alone. It was tempting, but my heart belonged to Athena, and so I refused him. Yet I did not know that my sincerity would lead me into darkness. His hands were heavy, suffocating, drowning me beneath a wave I could not escape. He did not need force, only a whisper, a cup of wine laced with something unseen, something that turned my limbs to stone before my curse ever did. And when I woke, broken and defiled, it was not his face I saw. It was Athena's. Her wrath was like a storm, her voice a blade that cut me deeper than anything Poseidon had done. I fell to my knees, pleading, begging her to see the truth, but she only looked down at me as though I was filth, a stain upon her sacred temple.
You have broken your vow,
she said, her voice void of mercy.
Your beauty has led to your corruption. It will do so no longer.
I screamed as the curse took hold. My hair twisted, writhed, transformed into hissing vipers that coiled around my face. My skin burned, my veins turned to ice. The first time I opened my eyes, the priestess who had once been my friend turned to stone before me. One by one, everyone I loved, and who had loved me, met the same fate, frozen in front of my helpless gaze. I ran, I hid in the darkest corners of the earth, veiling my face, pressing my fingers into my cursed eyes, as if I could gouge them out and be free. But the serpents wrapped around my wrists, hissing warnings, stopping me from my own destruction. They were my jailers as much as my only companions. I hated them. I hated myself. I hated him. Poseidon sat upon his throne, untouched, unpunished, while I became the monster. My rage consumed me and I let it. I let it fester, let it twist into something dark, something deadly. If the gods would not take justice for me, I would take it myself. I went after his temples first. I found the men who worshipped him, who prayed to him, with hands still stained with the blood of the women they had defiled. They screamed as they turned to stone, their prayers turning to ash on their lips. I shattered their bodies into dust beneath my feet. But Poseidon did not care. I was nothing to him, a mere mortal, an insect squirming beneath the weight of a god. My vengeance was a drop in his ocean, meaningless against the vastness of his power. I stopped trying. Instead, I turned my gaze toward men like him. The ones who took what they wanted, the ones who whispered lies with honeyed tongues, the ones who thought themselves untouchable. They learned fear when they saw me. They learned what it meant to be hunted. I became the nightmare they told their sons about, the whisper in the dark. They set traps, they gathered their weapons, they came for me in numbers. And they failed, time and time again. They came at night, thinking they could strike unseen. I heard their boots crunch against gravel, their breath catching in their throats when they caught sight of my veiled form. The bravest among them stepped forward, sword trembling in his grip. I pulled back my hood. He locked eyes with me. The terror in them lasted only a second before his body seized, his flesh hardening, his skin turning grey. His lips parted in a silent scream as his muscles froze, as his soul was ripped from his form and trapped in a lifeless stone. I had long since stopped counting how many men I had turned to statues. Their expressions of fear, of agony, of disbelief. They no longer haunted me. But what if they succeeded? Would they call it victory? Would they sing songs of their triumph, boast of slaying the monster that was once a woman? I no longer know if this is a curse or a blessing. For now, no one can ever hurt me again.
Stefan, I curse you! One day a blade will pierce your heart. You will lose what you cherish most and die a gruesome death.
That terrifying dream again. That dark witch may have been destroyed by my own hands, but her dreadful curse still haunts me.
Father, wake up, what's wrong?
I just feel a little tired. Happy birthday, my dear Aurora. You're 16 now. After I defeated Maleficent and took over the sacred forest, the kingdom flourished, but one by one my loved ones left me. Now only Aurora remains. Aurora was born with a curse, that on her 16th birthday she would prick her finger on a spindle and fall into a deep sleep. But I burned every spinning wheel in the kingdom. I will prove that these curses are nothing but nonsense.
Your Majesty, the princess has collapsed in the basement. The curse has come true.
No, that's impossible. After days of trying everything to wake Aurora with no success, I had to accept the truth. The curse had really come true.
Your Majesty, all the witches in the kingdom have gathered at the palace.
But I won't give up. Aurora, sleep peacefully in your own castle. I will find a way to break this curse. The most powerful witches were summoned to the castle, yet none of them could offer anything useful. And yet, some still dare to slack off on their duties. Take the soldier on my left and execute him immediately. Trying to play tricks, are you? Eric, check on him for me.
Your Majesty, he has fallen into a deep sleep just like the princess.
My heart nearly stopped. A chill ran through my body. Could the curse still not be over? Within days, a strange sleeping plague spread across the kingdom. Anyone who closed their eyes would never open them again. I held a council that lasted for days, summoning every witch and healer in the land, but no one could find a way to stop it. Panic consumed the people. They did everything to stay awake, torturing themselves, taking stimulants, even cutting their own skin to fight off sleep. But in the end, exhaustion always won. More and more fell victim to the curse. They lay still like the dead, bodies warm, breath steady, yet completely unresponsive. Just like Aurora. No matter if this was a curse or something else, as king, I had to find a way to stop it. Beat him until he wakes up. The soldiers obeyed, landing a hard kick on the sleeping man. And he woke up as a monstrous, bloodthirsty creature. Kill them all! But those bitten turned into the same horrifying beasts. Like the zombie, the two monsters were slain with ease. But the danger was far from over, in fact. It was only beginning to spread. Issue an order across the entire kingdom. No one is allowed to wake the sleeping. But all my efforts to stop it were too late. The awakened zombies went on a rampage, infecting everyone around them. The kingdom fell into unprecedented chaos. Witches and healers were summoned once again. And once again, they left empty-handed. I could only gather the survivors within the castle, raising walls of thorns to keep the zombie at bay. But it was only a temporary measure. I knew that the only way to stop this was to find the source of the plague.
Aurora must be the cause. She's been dead, but the king refused to bury her. Her body must be spreading something unclean.
You think so too? The others are already planning to burn down the Rose Castle.
How dare you touch my daughter? Guards, stop them immediately. You beasts, stay away from my daughter.
Your Majesty, let us destroy the source of the plague. It's the only way to end this.
No, my daughter is not the source. This is a curse. Maleficent's curse. Suddenly, horrifying screams filled the air. The beautiful roses twisted and turned into bloodthirsty monsters. At this moment, I had to admit it. This was Maleficent's revenge, and I had lost completely. Maleficent, I know you're still out there. I betrayed you all those years ago, but Aurora is innocent. Out of nowhere, the thorny vines slowly parted, revealing a path leading to the castle. I walked into the castle with ease, making my way to Aurora's bedside. She lay there peacefully, as if at any moment she would open her eyes, look at me with those beautiful blue irises and call out, "Father." Maleficent, Aurora has done nothing wrong. Give her back to me. I'm willing to trade my life for hers. A bone-chilling cold surged through my body. My strength drained in an instant. My skin shriveled, my limbs withered, my flesh dried up like a corpse drained of blood. Aurora opened her eyes, but she was no longer my beloved daughter.
Stefan, I never thought someone like you could truly love another.
Maleficent, why is it you? Where is my daughter? How dare you use her body to house your filthy soul?
Father, why would you call me a filthy soul? I erased all my hatred so I could be reborn as your daughter. We've been a happy father and child for 16 years, haven't we?
No, this can't be.
Thank you, Father. Thanks to your genuine love, the sleeping curse has been broken. And now, my soul has awakened once more, along with every memory of my past life. This kingdom of lies and cruelty, these people who destroyed my sacred forest, they will all pay the price. They will all become part of the forest's fungi. I'm Sarah. I rented an old McDonald's. Luckily, the equipment was still in good condition, so I just had to do some minor cleaning, and I can open my store tomorrow. While cleaning, I heard a strange noise. I followed the sound and found a Ronald McDonald statue. I'm so lucky. Kids love Ronald. I'll put it in front of the store. I'm sure it will attract a lot of children. Opening day was a huge success. We were open until 11 p.m. Everyone was exhausted, so I decided to work the late shift. This town is mostly farms, so I figured it would be pretty quiet. I was just sitting there, scrolling through my phone, when I heard the order bell. I went to the counter, but there was no one there. Maybe I heard it wrong. Just as I was about to close the window, a blood-red message caught my eye. More childish pranks? This town isn't as peaceful as I thought. I had just sat down when the bell rang again, urgently. Someone was trying to mess with me already. I stood up angrily and was about to confront whoever was doing this when it appeared in front of me. Exactly. It appeared because I had shut all the doors of the sales booth.
Get out of here!
She looked scary, but she was just a little girl, right? Are you hungry? Can I help you?
Aren't you scared of me?
She seemed so miserable. She must have suffered a lot. I replied calmly, "You're not scary at all." Suddenly, the window shattered. Was it not her ringing the bell? I looked at the window and there was Ronald McDonald staring at me with an evil grin. What in the world is happening?
Run!
Sully's scream jolted me back to reality, and I instinctively followed her. We dashed into the storage room, and I couldn't resist asking her, "Hey, you seem to know a lot about that creepy clown statue." She didn't respond, but floated up, sending a crate crashing to the floor. There, before my eyes, was a crate of files, full of the store's dark secrets.
The clown statue is haunted by Sean. He's the one who hurt me. He would put on a Ronald McDonald costume, and since my dad was always busy, I'd come to the store alone. Sean would always treat me. One day, Sean said he would take me home instead of my dad. I went with him, but we went farther and farther, and it got darker and darker. I tried to escape, but he held me tight. I was terrified. He hurt me so badly that my soul left my body. I knew right then that I was dead. My dad thought Sean had hurt me, but he couldn't find any proof. So my dad killed him right here in front of the store. So my dad went to jail, and that guy, Sean, possessed the clown statue and started haunting me.
I couldn't believe the reason this store was closed was so terrifying. Just then, the storage room door slammed shut with a bang. "Sully, don't worry, I'm here for you." The door was kicked open, and the creepy clown appeared with a sinister laugh. He wasn't a friendly clown anymore. Inside him was a monster.
You sick bastard! I won't let you hurt anyone else.
Even though I smashed its head in, the clown statue didn't seem to care. Its smile was so taunting. The clown could even control broken bricks. I didn't see that coming. I could only cover my head.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. This statue is going down. I'm going to crush this evil statue and make that pervert Sean disappear forever. I turned him into dust. Let's see if he can come back. Finally, the clown was completely defeated. Sully ran to hug me. Now she can finally rest. To give Sully's spirit peace, I called the police to the spot where her body was buried. As she wished, I also asked her father to come and claim her body. Finally, after 23 years, her body was found. Seeing the old man, her father, sorrowfully holding his daughter's body, my heart ached. This was the last comfort for him. He finally got to meet his daughter. I did a good thing, didn't I?
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Goodbye, Sully.